What up, word is your boy JusRzd, and today we chopping it up about the Acolyte episode 4. Let's get into it. Do me a favor. Go ahead, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things that you know you're supposed to be doing. Anyway, we on YouTube now. What are you doing? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Spoiler warning off top, because we're going to talk about this episode. But man, if you can't tell from my countenance or my attitude, I'm a little irritated. I'm not going to hold you. It's the shortest episode of the series so far. We're 4 episodes in. And yeah, the series has already faced a myriad of backlash, as most Star Wars projects do, because low-key, Star Wars fans can be a little crazy, but God bless them anyhow. But this particular episode irritated me a little bit. I ain't even gonna hold you. It definitely irritated your boy, just a tad. So let's talk about it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I just dropped my single Sunny Days 2 featuring Mitch Darrell that dropped this past Friday on all streaming services. The link is actually in the description if you would like to check that out. If you don't, that's also cool. If you just here for the Star Wars stuff, that's also cool. But I do a lot. So the episode starts with Osha watching pretty much Jedi Padawan training class. And Daphne Keen's character actually is in said class practicing. They're practicing their pretty much their swordsmanship. And Osha's just sitting there watching her. So of course the class ends. She goes up, talks to Osha a little bit, chops it up with her. Osha's like, all right, nice chilling with y'all, but I'm a bounce. This ain't really the life for me. You know what I mean? I left for a reason. So I'm gonna let y'all handle May. And I'm gonna go ahead and go about my business. Like I'm gonna wash my hands of this. And so Daphne Keen's character tried to encourage her. She was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just dip. She was like, oh, you're not gonna tell Master Soul? And she was like, I mean, he'll be alright. Pretty much, he'll be alright. And so they pretty much get to a point where they cut to a council meeting, and we see Master Soul and a few members of the Jedi Council, not the High Council, but just a few Jedis in the council, conversing on what they need to do about this new situation. They see that May has killed 2 Jedi and that she's targeting 4. Master Soul's one of them, and the Wookiee Jedi is the other one. And they know where the Wookiee Jedi is, but they haven't had contact with him for I want to say at least a year. If not more. And so they're trying to figure out how they're going to approach this particular situation. They don't want to tell the High Council because they figure that the High Council will alert the Senate, and then it'll be a lot of litigation going around, and it'll just be a big mess. So instead, they try to handle it on their own, and so they send a group of Jedi to go investigate where the Wookiee Jedi is, which is Kofar. And Master Soul kind of weasels his way into the group of Jedi, like just kind of convinces the Jedi calling the shots, and is just like, all right, well, let me go, and let me take Osha. And she's just like, I don't really think that's a good idea, but Master Soul ends up convincing her, so he ends up going to talk to Osha, and he's like, look, I need you with me when we go do what we need to do, because that's your sister, y'all have a connection, and when I told her that you were alive, you know what I mean, I saw her countenance change. I could see in her eyes, like we could talk her down. Pretty much, it was his take, and it was interesting. I'm not gonna lie. He ended up convincing her. Then we cut to May and her sleazy little friend, the haberdashery individual. It wasn't a haberdashery. It was a pocket. I forgot how to say the word. Apothecary? Apothecary? Anyway, the buddy from episode 2. We end up seeing them. They finally landed on Kofar, and they're traveling through pretty much the forest. They know they have to travel through the forest to try to find the Wookiee Jedi so that she can kill him and try to complete the trial that was given to her by her Dark Master to kill a Jedi without a weapon. And of course, they're discussing it the whole time that they're traveling through the forest. And so then we cut back to the Jedi arriving on Kofar, and There's a lot of talking in this episode. Not mad at the dialogue, not mad at everything going around. going along and the different pieces that were moving. One thing I will say is Star Wars has a way of making some incredibly adorable new alien creatures. Because they had this tracker with them. The Jedi group had this tracker with them. I don't know if Buddy was like a beaver koala mix. Like, I don't know what Buddy was, but he just looked adorable. He reminded me of he just looked adorable, man. It's just like, bruh, like, hey, when y'all come out with a Funko Pop of that dude, I might get one. he just looked adorable, but he was gonna help guide them through the woods and track the Wookiee Jedi and possibly May if they were able to find him, and or at least try to intercept May if they could do nothing else. And so it was just interesting. They were going through the forest. They were exposed to, of course, different hazards. They were walking through this particular part of the forest. They got attacked by some, well, not attacked by some. It was one particular beetle that Osha ended up touching because she, I guess, felt a connection to it, and she ended up accidentally disturbing it, and it woke up and it tried to attack him. And of course, Master Soul stepped in, intervened, killed it with the lightsaber, and it was like, oh, it was attracted to the light. It's like, okay. It was still only one that woke up, so it was like, all right, we know not to touch stuff now. But it helped for her to realize that she's starting to be aware of the Force again. She's starting to feel connected to the Force again and starting to feel things that she's not used to feeling and hasn't been used to feeling since she left the Jedi Academy. And so we continue in this particular story. They cut to May and her sleazy little friend, and the whole time he's having conversations with her, it just seems a little like the way he talks about certain stuff is a little awkward, because he talks about her master as if he knows her master, but he's not a Force user, allegedly. But I don't know. It was the dialogue that they were having was very Palpatine, Anakin Skywalker-ish to me. Just me personally. But they were having a lot of dialogue just about the final trial of killing a Jedi with no weapon. And May was just like, "Oh, this is impossible. It's impossible." He's like, "Well, no, it's not. It's not possible. You can do it, but you just have to do it." And she was like, "Bruh, it's impossible. Like, I've been trying, and it's impossible to do." So he was like, all right, we'll chill out here. They were walking, and she took a stop. She was like, look, I can't keep all this. We've been running for a long time. Let me take a break. So he was like, all right, well, let me go find you some water. So he went to go find her some water, allegedly. And then when he came back because he heard her screaming as he was gone. And not only did he hear her screaming, but also the group of Jedi heard her scream as well. And she was off in the distance. So, of course, they go running. But he ends up coming back to her, and he doesn't see her, and he ends up getting caught in a trap that she set. And she was like, you know what? I'm done with this. The fact that my sister's still alive shows that there's other ways that I can go about this, and that this isn't the only way. So you know what? I'm done with all this. I'm going to turn myself into the Jedi. I'm going to pretty much admit to everything that I know, tell them everything that I know, and pretty much plead for mercy at the hands of the Jedi. And just surrender myself to them. And the whole time he's like, nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. They'll kill you. They'll lock you up. They'll put you in jail. Blah, 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 blah. He's giving a lot of facts. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, his motive just seemed a little off to me. Just me personally. And so she's like, all right, whatever. She leaves him tied up. And she ends up going to find the Wookiee Jedi. And when she gets there, she gets to his house. She ends up running into the actual little beaver tracker dude that the Jedi had, because he had ducked off in the middle of them walking through the forest and they couldn't find him. And so she ends up finding him. So he ends up making a lot of noise, alerting the Jedi group that he was with that, hey, she over here. So they end up coming running over there. So she ends up going in the house and finding the Wookiee Jedi dead, sliced open with a lightsaber. And it was just like, okay. My issue with this particular part. This part really irritated me because we finally got a Wookiee Jedi, a full adult Wookiee Jedi in Star Wars live action. And when we finally get to a point where we could maybe possibly see what he could do, he's dead. And I'm like, bruh, bruh, like, at least let him do something first before y'all kill him. Like, let him fight, let him do something. Like, let him defend himself, let him show his wisdom, let him show his mastery of the Force or something before you just kill him off screen. Now, maybe I could be speaking prematurely. Maybe in future episodes, because I think the Acolyte has like 8 episodes that's dropping. So maybe in future episodes they'll show a flashback, or they'll show what actually happened and how he died, and maybe they'll show more to his actual character in later episodes, because they did show a flashback in episode 3, so maybe there's more to come. But bruh, I want to see Buddy do some work. Wookiees are very strong and they are very good in battle. Like, I want to see him fight. I want to see him use his abilities. I want to see what his abilities are. But anyway, I digress. That irritated me. But she finds him dead, so now she's kind of shook, and then she looks around. She's like, oh my god, he's here. And apparently the sun sets as soon as she realizes that her dark master is here. And so it gets dark. She goes to look outside. The Jedi have finally pulled up to his house, and they're like, hey, whoever's in there, it's probably May. Come out with your hands up, and don't resist. Pretty much on some police type stuff. And of course, they told Osha to stay behind them just so nothing happens to her, and so that she's protected and that ain't no funny stuff. And the whole time they're talking and they're trying to get May to come out, Master Soul senses something behind them. He turns around, he sees May's Dark Master kind of float down out of the scenery, and just pretty much walks up to Osha, and Osha's kind of sitting there looking scared, of course, because he like literally popped up behind him. And I'm saying he, but I don't know if it's a woman or a man. It could be either or at this point. But he pretty much pops up behind her, and Dark Master's just looking at her. He pulls out his lightsaber. I ain't gonna hold you. When he pulled out his lightsaber, I thought he stabbed her. I thought he killed Osha. I was like, oh snap. We just gonna do that all time. It's only episode 4. She ain't gonna make it through. So the main character was made the whole time. But anyway, I digress. He didn't stab her. He just pulled out his lightsaber. Of course, when he pulls out his lightsaber, all the Jedi squad up and pull out their lightsaber. And before he makes any move, he uses the Force to fling her to the side, and the Jedi charge at him. He extends his hand and he uses the Force to push the Jedi back, and then the episode ends. Talk about a tease. Y'all about to scrap, and immediately when he uses the Force, the episode ends. Bro, I was hot. I was irritated. But I have theories. Because we did see his hand and his arm when he extended his hand to use the Force. And it looked like a lighter skinned individual, whether it's a white guy, white woman, I don't know, or Asian man or Asian woman, I don't know. But the person didn't look black, I will say that. So it looks like one of the lighter hued characters may be the Dark Master, and I have theories about who it could be. I feel like it's more so probably gonna be the Asian guy, but I feel like that's too direct to just be the Asian guy. Like, I'd be disappointed if it is the Asian guy, just because I feel like that, like, people were calling that from like episode 2. Oh, it's probably him. It's probably like a Palpatine type thing, like hiding in plain sight. And it's like, I understand that because they kind of ran that trope with Palpatine, but it's just like, I want it better from Star Wars than to just run that trope back with this character. So I'm hoping that it's not the Asian dude. I low-key wanted to be Carrie-Ann Moss. I'm not even gonna hold you, but the way the Dark Master walked up to Osha, like he hadn't seen her in a long time, I feel like it could also be they mama's girlfriend from episode 3 that carried them to term. Like carried them as in was pregnant with them. But I guess we'll find out as this series progresses. So with episode 4, I'm gonna try to not grade with my feelings, because like I said, I am irritated by this episode for a number of different reasons. But I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6, maybe even a 5.5, because this episode really pissed me off. Because I'm like, bro, how y'all gonna tease the fight? Like, I would have rather him just came out of the scenery and stood behind Ocean and she turned around and then the episode end, than to see y'all about to get busy and they charging, you pushing back with the force, and then the episode cuts off. And then why did y'all hold a Wookiee Jedi like that? Like, we wanted to see his abilities, we wanted to see what he could do. Why would y'all do that to him? So I'm giving it a 5.5, 6, because it pissed me off. So let me know if y'all agree. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. And man, let me know if y'all agree with how I'm feeling, if y'all was pissed off as well. I know a lot of the fandom has been pissed off with this series just based on the woke agenda, which be completely overblown and completely misused with a lot of different series. But it's just like, bruh, relax. Just enjoy the show for what the show is. Like, Star Wars fans, y'all gotta relax. But let me know how y'all feeling about it in the comments. Let me know who y'all think the Dark Master is. We're steadily growing. We're steadily doing more reviews. I got a Kaiju number 8 review dropping later on this week. We review anime, we review comic book things, we review Star Wars things, we review music, and we review video games. And we drop music as well. And don't forget, it's free soul to the soul free.